This is a 1982 Honda GL500, and these are some really cracked intake manifolds. Now, I recently picked this bike up to actually do a ride with. Like about any bike I have in the shop, I had to rebuild the carburetors. Not a big deal, we have parts for those. But also, like many bikes I have in the shop, this thing has some cracked intake manifolds, which causes an air leak and poor running conditions. So this is something that we have to take care of. Now, all of these bikes I have in the shop also have intake manifolds, but a lot of times they can actually be replaced with newer aftermarket parts. This bike, however, has some very unique manifolds, and they are not available in the aftermarket or NOS world. You can find some used ones on eBay, but who knows if they're going to be good or not. So I want to try to fix these using maybe an unorthodox method that I haven't tried yet, but I feel confident in. And that is using some gigantic heat shrink to try to seal these things from the outside. Will it work? I don't know. Are we going to try it? Hell yeah. Let's take a closer look and I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. Now, to quickly explain why it's important to have crack-free and leak-free intake manifolds, you see the air box right here, and then we have the carburetors. These are the missing link between the carburetors and the actual engine. So you have to imagine the air comes in through a filter, and then the carburetors deliver a metered amount of fuel based on that air coming in, the velocity, all kinds of sciencey stuff. That's not important, but what is important is if you have an air leak in this, that is going to be drawing in air where it's not supposed to be, and that's what we call unmetered air, and therefore your fuel mix is not going to be correct. So it's very important that we have these things sealed up and avoid any lean conditions or poor running. It really does make a difference. So here is how we're going to try to fix these. All right, now I mentioned heat shrink, so this is what we're going to be using right here. This is actually some 2.5-inch heat shrink, and this is not something you're going to find on the shelf at any local store. So I just went and bought this off Amazon. I've never used it, but I think it should work fine for our application. So what's important is that this is adhesive lined or double wall or marine type heat shrink. As this heats up and shrinks down, the adhesive in here becomes liquid, and that is what creates the seal. So our mission here is to actually use that heat shrink and go from about the clamp joint there all the way past the aluminum joint and have it end about right there, giving us a very large portion of adhesive to hopefully seal this thing. Now, of course, I have taken these and I have put maybe some liquid electrical tape or some silicone, whatever you got, you kind of put it in the crack there. And that has worked in the past, but I want to try this to help maybe even build in a little bit more rigidity and just a larger repair area. I think it will be pretty good. So you can see how much slack we have here. I got 2.5-inch because I know this one has a little bit of a curve to it. And this is 3-to-1 ratio, so it will shrink down to essentially 1 inch in diameter. So we should be good there. Okay, I have a piece of heat shrink cut off. So this is gonna be a little complicated, that's fine. So I'm gonna have to probably put it something like that. I can cut a little bit of an angle here, but I'm gonna have to make sure I have extra. So once we shrink it down, I'll be able to take a razor blade and kind of trim it to a closer tolerance to that line right there. So that should start looking better. Now, this is definitely gonna look maybe a little haggard when it's done, but it ain't gonna leak air. This is probably going to take a lot of heat. So we have adhesive coming out of that back line, which is good. I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit, but then we will go ahead and try to trim it right on that ridge and then re-shrink it right there. And try to cut it just inside that little ridge. Definitely pulling back a little bit. Pulled back on the sides, but I don't see any exposed cracks, so did the best we could. Now, before we get these intake manifolds on the bike, we have one last important piece, and that is the O-ring that sits in this groove. Now, this O-ring, therefore, this seal is equally as important as the leaky intake manifolds, because if you have a poor seal here, it's going to cause the same effect as cracked intake manifolds. So it's also very important or critical that you have a good proper seal with your gasket or your O-ring. So make sure that this is good before you spend all the time on that. All right, well, there you have it. This thing is running fantastic. I can say with confidence after a couple hundred miles, these manifolds have been doing great. Let me tell you, that heat shrink really did the trick. Beforehand, you could actually hear the intakes sucking air around the carburetors, and this thing really just had poor performance. Now, granted, I did rebuild the carburetors, but they were ultimately very clean, and the intake manifolds have made the single biggest difference, which has been great. So I was concerned about maybe heat distortion, but I've ridden this thing in well over 100+ degree days, and so far the heat shrink has not moved or felt soft or done anything. It's just stayed in place and continued to seal. So this thing, no matter how hot it gets, idles perfect. And that is definitely a telltale sign that the intakes are sealed as they should be. The performance of the bike is great. It's a GL500. I don't know what kind of performance we're talking about here, but you know, it does motorcycle things. I do plan to try this where applicable on other motorcycles, so we're gonna have some fun with it, but I do think it is a viable fix. And maybe even a little bit more sturdy than, say, adding some sealant or something like that. So anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Hopefully it was helpful. If you guys try this, definitely let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments on it. I won't have this bike very long, but I will continue to report back as long as I have it on the longevity of that fix. But again, hope you guys like this one, and hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.
horsepower. Just horsepower. That's just, I just feel like saying it. Not that this has any horsepower. Slow bike fast is always better than fast bike slow.